You only get one of what?
Bad jokes before the show starts.
Then you've spent yours
Yeah.
many times over this year.
Got out of the way. Shut up. All right. AOA podcast, Frankie C in the house.
It's happening.
We've got a police department scandal that made my jaw drop.
Really?
The fiscal status of the recently departed Lisa Marie Presley. Sad.
Physical state? Really? What?
Yeah. He's got some financial things going on.
Oh.
Somebody married Kanye today.
She a Nazi?
How about that? Technically, yes.
I would. I mean, she obviously has no problem with it.
I haven't asked her personally, but one could assume. Passion of the Christ Part 2.
Okay.
Tim Cook takes a pay cut. Tom Hanks is making cocktails.
Is it? Does he know how to spell cocktail?
I'm not quite sure.
Okay.
I know one person who doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
This PD thing. I think we need to ease into this. Let's start
That's what
with.
she said.
Yeah, that's not what this one did, though.
Uh-oh.
That's not what this particular she did.
What happened?
Dude, you're gonna need a cigarette after this conversation. I'll tell you what.
Alrighty.
Hmm.
Alrighty. Let's see what we got.
Well, let's do. Let's. I don't think it's good. I think we need to. Let's start with Lisa Marie Presley.
Oh, okay.
I think we got to ease into it a little bit.
R.I.P. Lisa Marie Presley.
Very sad news. J Sabs broke the news to me personally. I don't know about you.
She didn't break it to me. No.
Everybody made such a big deal because she was at the Golden Globes on Monday.
Yeah.
Dead on Wednesday. For some reason, that affects us as human beings.
Like, well, to be honest, we haven't seen or heard from her in a while.
Right.
And then you see her at on the red carpet, and all of a sudden, 3 days later, she's dead.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
But there's a human condition there where we go, you go, so and so died, and you just go, I just saw them. Like, you've got to be kidding. And it's like, well, yeah, that's what death is. Alive, gone. Like, that's the moment.
I mean, yeah, it's a, I mean, yeah, you're alive, you're not alive. It's that's how quick it is, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think the point is she didn't look sick or nothing looked, wrong with her. It's a sudden thing is the point. If we just saw her and she looked ill, she looked like she pale and something was wrong, then I get it. But yeah, she looked fine. She sounded okay. And then all of a sudden, boom.
Okay.
It's out of nowhere.
Unpopular opinion here. Can't believe you're going to make me do it, but I'm going to do it. I thought she looked terrible on Monday.
You thought she looked terrible?
I thought she looked pale. All the things that you described, I thought she looked pale and kind of tired.
I thought she looked like herself. She didn't look any different than she normally looks, I thought. She's pale because she's a pale person, but I didn't think she looked sickly.
I wouldn't say sickly, no. But when I heard she died, and I went and looked up all the like the footage from her on Monday, I was like, oh, she kind of looked like not the greatest. She didn't look like she had a lot of color to her. I don't know.
Well, she's always pale, but
I didn't know that. I didn't know. Yeah. Here's what I forgot. Forgot that she was married to Nick Cage.
Yeah.
Was that a long-term thing? Because her and Michael Jackson was what, like 15 minutes, a couple of weekends?
Something like that. Let me see. Nick Cage. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah. I spoke to somebody today, and I go, weird about Lisa Marie Presley, right? She goes, I don't know who that is. I go, okay. Great.
Come on.
Swear.
Even if you didn't, you could probably make the connection.
Some young people just don't.
Yeah, but how many Presleys are there out there? It's either, I mean, that's.
Can I tell you something?
How old was the person you were talking to?
In their 20s.
They should know. Sorry.
But younger.
You should hear the word Presley and understand who that is.
This is what I was going to say to defend this person a little bit. I think people know Elvis. I'm not quite sure Elvis Presley is a thing to people. Because people go, oh,
Still,
Elvis, Elvis, Elvis. I don't think a lot of people know that Presley was Elvis's last
well,
name.
that's unfortunate. But they were married. Nicolas Cage and her were married 2002 to 2004.
Now, was that when he was in Las Vegas, or was that after he had left?
I think he already left, and he took. You know how he left? Through Con Air. Now she was married to Michael Jackson, same amount of time, 94 to 96.
So 2 years they were married for?
I mean, within those 2 years, it could have been like December 94 to like January 96. But I don't know. That's what it says.
I like that. December 94 to January. I guess technically.
Could have been 14 months.
Technically, it's a 3-year span when you look at it. 94, 95, 96.
Yeah, you take out showers and meals. It's 2 days, really.
Yeah. How long do you think she was actually with Michael Jackson, though? Because I think it was at that MTV thing, and then that was it.
Yeah, then when they forced their way through that kiss,
Oof.
that was rough.
Brutal. Brutal.
But let's see. Yeah, they married. Yeah. 20 days after her first divorce, she married Michael Jackson.
Was that from Nick Cage or was that from somebody else?
No, from someone else named Danny, and the last name I'm not sure how to pronounce. Keough. Cough.
Oh, I think that was the one that found her.
She was married to him for a while, 1988 to 94.
That's
That's
tough.
about 6 years. But then literally 20 days after they divorced, she married Michael Jackson.
Do you think, I mean, and now my wife also reminded me of this. I think her son killed himself, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Either that or Cuddles is playing the cruelest joke on me right now. Because she knew I wouldn't look it up and I'd come right out here and say it and perhaps look like a huge jackass.
I'm sure she wouldn't do that to you.
It's exactly what she would do. That'd be hilarious.
I don't know, man. I don't know anything about that.
I think she did. Well, somebody in the chat, a lot more responsible than I, will know and be able to confirm or deny.
Right.
Um,
Beat my drum says Cuddles is right.
There you go. See. So so what I'm getting to though is it just sounds like she had a miserable, troubled, awful life.
I mean, who knows? You don't. Yeah, you got some instances here. That obviously is terrible. Her son.
Her dad died when she was what?
Dad. She had to be really young. I don't know how old she was when that happened. What year did he die?
70. I have to look that up too. But her mom was never. I mean, I think he was already split from Priscilla when he died. Right.
Okay, that's 1977. He died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they split up in 73.
Oh, sorry. So a divorce. Dad dies. You know.
So she was 9 years old. She was born in 68.
You're living in the shadow of Elvis Presley. 3 marriages for her at least. Son's suicide. Like that. This is a tough
It's a rough.
life.
Yeah, that was rough. I mean, the son's death alone, that's enough to drive you crazy. That's terrible.
She's going to be buried next to her son in Graceland, by the way, which is
That's
nice.
good.
Yeah, that's nice. And I'll tell you what, too, not a bad music career. Like, there's a couple of tunes. I'm not going to lie about a person, just because they're dead. But like, I couldn't name a song, Frank. But there has been a couple of times, at least 3 or 4 or 5, where I've had a Lisa Marie Presley song on, and I go, this is not fucking bad. This is pretty good. She can actually sing and write a song, and she worked with T-Bone Burnett, who's like a massively popular producer, and like produced a lot of hits. Yeah. And I did have a couple of Lisa Marie records back in the day, back in the EHM days when they used to. She would send stuff over. There was a couple of them that I played a lot of. I'll have to go back and look. I remember thinking this is pretty good. She's got some talent on her own, which sucks because it's like you'll never ever. It's the same thing. Like Paul McCartney's kid could actually sing and write. Sean Lennon's had a couple of like minor. He can play. Like George Harrison's kid. Nobody gives a fuck about these people. They'll never.
What if they form their own band? Like they that would be the thing. Like if the sons of the Beatles
They did for a
came
little while, I think.
the four of them.
I think they did, yeah.
All right, so then
I don't know about Ringo's kid. I know one of the Lennon kids. I forget which one. Sean or the other one, whose name escapes me. Danny Harrison and James McCartney, I think, is Paul's kid. They were like
Yeah.
jamming for a little while.
They
And even
should,
then,
they
people were like, isn't this interesting? And then they were like, let's put on Yellow Submarine.
oh, you see, that would be cool if they played like they came out, they toured together, and they played like their parents' hits and stuff like that, and they did their own stuff. That would be something like carrying on the legacy.
That would be cool. Julian Lennon, thank you. Beat my drum. Beat my drum is 2 for 2 so far tonight.
Yep.
2 for
That's who
fucking
Hey
2.
Jude was written about.
I believe you're right.
Yes.
It wasn't about Jude Law. Lost $20 on that once, just so everybody
See?
knows. Careful who you bet with.
He would have been like 2 years old. I don't know how old Jude Law is.
But here's what they're saying about Lisa Marie Presley now. She's $1 million in the hole, owed more than $1 million in taxes to the IRS, and had squandered an estimated $100 million fortune in a series of really bad business decisions.
Well, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I feel like can't the Presley estate take care of that? What, $1 million? I think they could handle that.
Yeah, but she squandered $100 million.
Yeah, no, that's gone. I get it. But now the debt is left over.
Yeah.
And who does that pass to?
Yeah, well, the truth of the matter is, and I'll look this up too, but Elvis Presley is still one of the wealthiest dead. Like they make that list every year of the wealthiest dead people,
Right.
like who makes money still as a dead person, and Elvis is like always up near the top of that list.
Yeah, that's not going anywhere anytime soon.
It-
But I mean, I feel like again, the Presley estate could probably wipe that out in a second.
Yeah, isn't that weird? Where you're like, I lost $100 million, but that's okay. My dad has been dead for 50 years. We'll make it up next year.
Right?
That's so weird to say.
It is, but all right. I mean, $100 million. She squandered. There's $1 million in debt. That's I mean, it's a lot to us because it is a lot of money, but I feel like that could be handled.
Elvis Presley, let's see, was number 4 on. Oh Jesus,
What?
this is way more than I even thought it would be. He's
How much the estate is worth?
number 4 on the list for 2022 of
Okay.
earners.
For dead people.
Of what he earned in wait, let me just make sure this is 2022 only. I mean, because this
What list is this? Is this from some like Forbes or something?
Forbes, yeah.
Okay.
Let me see. The highest paid dead celebrity, yeah, of 2022. Yeah. Do you want to take a stab at what he made in 2022 alone?
200 mil.
$110 million.
That's a lot for a dead person.
I thought he was making like 30, 40 mil, which would still be an insane amount.
How though? I guess. All right, merchandising.
I wonder if the
Graceland?
movie.
I mean, what in the movie? I'm sure they get something of the movie.
And you know what? I bet you Graceland and all the other shit gets a pick me up when you have a movie coming out, reinvigorates everybody, gets everybody interested again.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Actually, it says here the estate didn't make a ton directly off of the Elvis biopic, but the hit film is expected to lift Presley's earnings at least in the next 18 months as fans, new and old, look to on their piece.
Yeah, the music, they're going to start streaming the music more. I'm sure that got a huge bump.
How about this? Even sales of Disney's Stitch plush animal dressed in the Elvis jumpsuit are up from 2021 because of the biopic.
What is it? A plush? What?
Yeah, you never seen that Stitch? There's like a plush doll of Stitch from the Disney movie.
Oh, like Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah, I think that was part of the thing. Like he dressed up as Elvis in the movie. Okay. And so he gets a piece of that.
Look at that. Yeah, anything with Elvis, anything officially Elvis, going right there. Some of it anyway.
At least 80 million of Presley's earnings came from tour tickets, shows, and merch.
Still bringing them in. So that list, what's he's number 4. I'm sure Michael Jackson's probably number 1.
Oh, fun. You want to go the other? You want to do the top 3?
Sure.
Would you say
Gotta
Michael
say,
Jackson?
gotta say Michael Jackson is in there.
That's who I would have guessed. You would be wrong.
The Beatles, like as a group, is that considered? 'Cause 2 of
Incorrect.
them.
Not in the top 3.
Wow.
Michael Jackson, by the way, number 6, made
Get out of
75
here.
million.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Who the hell? I mean, there's a lot of famous Bowie.
Look at you.
Did I get number 1?
You fucking no. Bowie came in at number 3.
Number 3. Okay.
But
Bowie's
I would have
number
never guessed that.
3. Really?
Never guessed Bowie. Bowie made $250 million. That's crazy.
All right. So let's see. There's 2 more above Bowie. Of 2022. That's tough. I mean, who else?
Yeah. No, these are going to be tough. We'll take some
Uh,
guesses in the chat too. While you're doing that, let me do a Jumpstart Coffee read. Proud sponsors of the old podcaster Rooney here. I'm drinking some right now in my AOA tumbler mug.
Nice. I
Say
think Nicole
15
nailed it, by the way.
Woohoo?
I think Nicole nailed it with Prince.
Nope.
Not Prince. Wow.
Save 15% when you order with the link in the description of this episode. Use the promo code AOA15 to get that 15% off, and 50%, like my favorite rapper, 50 Cent, 50% goes over to the Navy SEAL Foundation. So when you buy a cup, you are supporting these 2 schmucks you see on the screen or that you're listening to, and all the wonderful human beings that defend our freedoms. The Navy SEALs. Love them. Love the Navy SEAL Foundation. Love Jumpstart Coffee Company. And thanks for grabbing a bag today.
Now
you're just Googling.
No, I'm not. Paul says Aretha Franklin.
Nope.
Robert Klein. Robert Klein? Really?
Nope.
Cool. No, says Rolling Stones.
Oh. Frank Sinatra's a great guess. No. Jimi Hendrix, phenomenal guess. No. Rolling Stones is hysterical because they're basically all still alive except for one.
The drummer's dead.
Yeah. Beth Cummings has the best guess of all because usually Bob Marley is on there. He is not for 2022.
Let's see. Mariah says Johnny Cash.
Nope. Walt Disney's a good guess. Technically, no, because Disney company makes all the money. So,
all right.
Paul's hysterical. Francis Scott Key. If only he had registered that.
If he had licensed the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah. Which, by the way, we lifted that. The melody of that got lifted from something else. He didn't fucking.
Really?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that song was around before.
There's a good guess. Whitney Houston from Page.
Great guess. No.
Incorrect. Bill Withers.
Great guess. No.
Man, 2 more that are above Tom Petty. Robert Klein guesses Tom Petty. Bird says Thomas Edison. I don't know if that's a good. Why not throw them all out there?
I can give you a hint, and you'll get it.
Hints. Let's see. Wait, it's a musician, not part of a group. Oh, Fleetwood Mac.
I didn't say it was a musician.
You said highest paying artist. No.
Celebrity.
Oh, that's not. We're all guessing musicians.
I didn't jerk. Musicians? No. Bird guessed Walt Disney. That's not it.
Everybody else is guessing musicians. Okay. Highest grossing dead celebrity. I'll say, I forget his name. Black Panther, because the movie came out.
That's a good guess. No.
Okay.
You're guessing really well tonight.
Thank you.
You're doing a great job on the guessing.
Paul says Milli Vanilli. I think there was a surge mid-September. I remember that. Could be Freddie Mercury, Judy Garland. The movie came out.
These are all wonderful guesses, but no.
What the hell? Celebrity, highest grossing celebrity of 2022.
Steve Jobs is a good guess. I don't think that Steve Jobs earns that a lot of money though now.
I don't know. Queen Elizabeth. That's a good one.
Bob Saget's a no. Queen Elizabeth is a great guess, but a no.
Who the hell? I mean, this is tough. You're not making this easy.
Mm,
I mean, an actor or an actress? Can we at least narrow it down to that?
not actor or actress.
Not an actor or actress.
Nope. We're talking about the highest earning celebrities of 2022.
Dead celebrities of 2022.
Dead celebrities, sorry. Robin
Wow.
Williams is a great guess. No. I will say this. I've ignored it, but somebody did get it. Somebody got one of them. There's
Somebody
only two
got
left.
one. Jack Benny. Burl
Not Jack
Ives.
Benny.
Kobe
Not Burl.
Bryant.
Laura had it before. I didn't put it up on the screen. She
There
had
you
it
go,
before.
Laura.
Kobe Bryant. Great guess. Kobe Bryant made $400 million in 2022. He has a
Is he number 1 or
7%
2?
stake in Body Armor, the energy drink. In November of 2021, Coca-Cola agreed to buy out the 70% of a Body Armor it didn't already own for $5.6 billion at an $8 billion valuation. Bryant's estate received a reported $400 million proceeds from the sale.
All right. Is he number 1 or number 2?
He is number 2. One person made more than $400 million
Wow.
who is dead.
Robert Klein says Jim Henson. That's a good guess.
Nope.
With all those puppets or Muppets or whatever. Betty White says Christine. Elizabeth Taylor says Paul. This is rough. This is a tough one. Who was a big deal in 2022 but passed away? I mean, there was a lot of big deals that passed away, but who would have earned a lot? This is tough. Not an actor or actress or a singer.
Correct. And I will say what's unique about this is much like the Kobe Bryant thing, this isn't like, because usually it's Elvis, it's Bob Marley, it's,
Sure.
usually it's those, but these are some acquisitions that went on that pushed these people over the top.
Okay. Is Rupert Murdoch still alive?
He barely, but yes.
Oh, all right. Man, I got nothing.
I'm going to give you a hint.
Yeah, give a hint.
Author.
An author. Author died.
Didn't necessarily mean that they died in 2022.
No, but they're dead, and it jumped in 2020. Earned a gajillion dollars in 2022. What the hell? Tolkien's still alive, I believe. Is it Tolkien?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because the Lord of the Rings series came out. But that was, I mean, one series threw them over the top.
No.
Okay.
A Swedish video game company called Embracer announced its acquisition of Middle Earth Enterprises. They'd spent $788 million on 6 acquisitions, including Tolkien. But one clever hobbit told Forbes that Embracer spent at least $500 million for Middle Earth Enterprises, with a number Embracer didn't refute. After the deal closes, Embracer will share the shire of a multitude of other companies who own a piece of Tolkien's intellectual property, including HarperCollins, Amazon, Warner Brothers, New Line, and the Tolkien estate, in what's been described as the most complex IP rights split in history.
Damn.
Yeah. So $500 million they estimate, at least, although one person said $788 million.
Hey, either way, that's a pretty big deal.
I mean, name
All right,
name a Tolkien work besides The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, though.
No.
It can't be done. Nobody else knows
Can't.
another one.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Does it exist?
I don't even know.
Did Tolkien write anything outside of that world? I don't even know.
Can I tell you something? I read The Hobbit. I read Lord of the Rings.
That's a great guess too. Stan Lee would have been
Stan
a great
Lee's
guess.
a good guess. Yeah. Stan Lee.
I feel like Marvel had because do you count Marvel as Stan Lee, or do you just say Stan Lee brought in this much money?
I think Stan Lee got screwed out of a lot. Like, I don't think he sold the company off for a lot of the time. I think whoever owned it sold it off.
Yeah.
Same shit with the Ninja Turtles. Some schlub bought the Ninja Turtles long after that thing was dead for like $18 million, and then sold it to Sony for $400 million.
Yeah, that person cleaned up.
No shit. No
Ninja
shit.
Turtles, man.
Yet the first asshole who put the orange belt on Michelangelo got dick. Got nothing.
Uh, they, that it's not doesn't get ever since that first movie in the '90s. They've been. I mean, the second one was good too, Secret of the Ooze, but after that, they haven't
was
been
it.
able to make a good
No,
Ninja Turtles movie
not one that I could hang
because
around for.
it's right. It's all CGI bullshit.
Yeah, we need to really see those people standing there.
Right. We need actors to sweat it out in these costumes.
Yes,
That's what we're looking for.
Particularly, who's the one guy who's now a joke? What's his name? The child star.
Well, who?
The two Corys. Corey Feldman. Wasn't Corey Feldman the voice of
He was the voice of Donatello in
Donatello?
the first one, and I think the third one too.
Anyway, as I was saying, I read The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, and I cannot remember which one is which. I have no idea. I cannot fucking distinguish the two.
The Hobbit had a lot of dwarves in it.
Yeah,
like a lot more than the Lord of the Rings.
No idea.
That's basically, and a dragon. The Hobbit had a dragon in it.
I feel like it was all mystical wandering around the forest.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's definitely what it is. But
Bilbo was one of them. Bilbo Baggins or some bullshit.
Bilbo was in the Hobbit a lot.
No idea.
He was briefly in Lord of the Rings, but mostly he is the Hobbit.
So is it are they both existing in the same universe? Is that what happened?
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings is sequels to the Hobbit. Hobbit is the story of Bilbo getting the ring.
Got it.
Then Bilbo loses the ring, and then Lord of the Rings is Frodo carrying the ring on, and ultimately, where it goes from there.
And people might be wondering, Ann, didn't you see the movies? No, not one.
Really?
Not one. That's why, like 4 or 5 years ago, I saw Sean Astin, and I go, I can't believe this guy's not dead. And they're like, no, he's like thriving. He's in all the Lord of the Rings. And I was like, oh, well, I thought he was dead.
He's in a lot of shit now.
Yeah, he's in a ton of shit.
Yeah.
It's amazing, though. You miss one franchise, and you really are sleeping on somebody's, like, $100 million.
You have no idea. Yeah, you have no idea that they're alive.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Well, look at the kid just at the Golden Globes for the movie Everything All at Once there, that movie?
Yes.
That was the kid from the Goonies and
I know.
And Indiana Jones.
Yes. And he was
yeah.
He was saying I saw he was on the round table. You ever watch those round tables?
Mm-hmm.
The Hollywood Reporter does them, and he was saying how he just gave up on acting for like 30 years or something crazy like that.
Yeah, he disappeared for a long time, and now all of a sudden, I mean, I feel like this is like the year of comebacks. It's him, Brendan Fraser, like that. Those are people that were gone for a while.
Yeah,
so good for them.
He said in that interview that every single year for the last 35 years, Steven Spielberg sent him a Christmas gift.
That's awesome.
Every year.
That's pretty cool.
He's like, every year I got a Christmas gift. And I see, you think that's cool. And I do think that's nice. But part of me, after I heard that, I go, 15 years into him being out of acting, I would have taken that gift, sent it back, and be like, just give me a fucking part in something, you son of a bitch.
Maybe he didn't want to. Maybe he didn't want to act anymore.
I don't know. He said he always wanted to act. He said there just wasn't an opportunity.
I heard a rumor of a, they called him in Indiana Jones, they called him Short Round.
Short Round?
That was his name in Indiana Jones Temple of Doom.
Okay.
Indiana Jones, hey, Short Round, let's get, And there's a rumor of a spinoff movie or show or something about him.
Now would be the time.
So I don't know. I
Strike while that iron's hot.
Right.
I'll tell you what, Indiana Jones is a movie I have to, like, last time I saw that, I was like 6.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I gotta watch all those again.
Oh, they're great.
I know. I think the last time I saw Indiana Jones legitimately was on Laserdisc. That was probably the last time I watched Indiana Jones.
Laserdisc.
Yeah.
They're worth a rewatch. The first 3 anyway.
They're good, right?
And now you got to watch them to catch up. They have the 5th one coming out now.
I know he's got an. I know, isn't that nuts?
He's
What
80
happened? I
years
thought
old, I think.
Shia LaBeouf was gonna like take it over, and now I don't think he's in this next one.
No, he was Shia LaBeouf was in the fourth one. He is Indiana Jones's ne'er-do-well son in the fourth one.
He plays his
And
son.
like he doesn't know it's a spoiler alert. And it's Indiana Jones
Shit.
4. It doesn't matter.
Oh god
It's
damn it.
really not a big spoiler. You could it's one of those you see it coming a mile away. But you find out he's his son. Like that, uh, it's just like he's never been there for him. The whole deal. And I mean, spoiler alert again. The end of Indiana Jones 4. Spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. Do you want to hear this?
No, I
All right, I
don't.
won't
Go ahead,
spoil it.
say
But
it. No, go ahead, say it. Take my
you
ears out.
sure?
Tell me
Okay.
when you're done.
Spoiler alert for Indiana Jones 4. It ends with it looks like Shia LaBeouf is going to pick up the hat, like Indiana Jones drops his hat. Shia LaBeouf goes to grab it, and then Indiana Jones grabs it instead. And it's like, no, you're not. It was almost a passing of the torch, but it didn't happen. Yeah. So also, what happened? Like there was an interview with Harrison Ford. He's like, I'm Indiana Jones. That's it. Once he's gone, Indiana Jones. He was like, I am Indiana Jones. There's no passing of the torch. This is him. That's it. It's his
I
character.
saw that. Yeah, somebody asked
Can't
like,
really blame him.
who would you want to play Indiana Jones next? And he was like, fucking nobody, me. I'm
Yeah,
Indiana Jones.
come up with a new character.
Yeah,
I don't blame him. There's no. I mean, unless you're gonna do young Indiana Jones when he was like a teenager, something like that. Maybe because they had River Phoenix was Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade, like in a flashback.
oh, is that right?
Yeah, but I mean,
Yes.
if you do like a series or something on Disney, a young Indiana Jones, but you can't have Indiana Jones played by someone else around that same age.
I'm with him. Yeah, it was the same thing when they're like, "Oh, is what's his name going to be the new James Bond, the black guy, like Idris Elba? Like, is
That'd
Idris
be
Elba going to
fun.
be the
Well, to be
first black
fair,
James Bond?" And I'm like, "No, make a new thing with Idris Elba. It'll be fucking awesome. Like, he doesn't
yeah,
need to be James Bond."
true. But to be fair, James Bond changes hands once every like 10 years. There's a new James Bond.
Which is another thing that's got to stop. Like, it's time that somebody actually kills James Bond. You know what I'm saying?
You
Let's
think
put
that's
James
it?
Bond to rest. Yeah, I think
There's
you got to do it.
They pull like a Freddy Krueger. They kill him, and then 2 years later they make he's back. They didn't really kill him.
No, but you know what though? It's like I understand. Like make another like 007 is part of an agency, right? The MI6 or whatever the fuck it is. Just give it like Idris Elba could be 009, like and make him the thing then, and he kicks the shit out of people for the next 20 years. Like that's the thing to do. Don't make it fucking James Bond. You know.
Well, everybody likes the name. Everybody gets drawn to that because they know the kind of person James Bond is with the gadgets and the crazy and insane stunts.
I don't think those things work. You know what I'm saying? Like when like Ghostbusters, I like you can't just
The new
make new
one's good.
shit. Just make new shit. Like you have to. And here's the thing: the premise of a super slick guy not having his hair fall out of place as he saves the world amidst thousands of explosions is not a new idea. 6 of those movies come out every single year. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not hard to make those movies. You just don't have
Right.
to call it James Bond. Nobody's gonna go for that shit.
No, yeah, but all people go for it when they keep making these James Bond movies and they go for it. It's not if you instead of James Bond you're making John Bind, and it's like nobody cares about John Bind.
Yeah, but look at like John Wick. That's fucking basically James Bond. He's just
It's
some other
basically
dude
James
running
Bond.
around. I mean, it's all the same shit. Just give him a new character. He'll build a new fan base.
All right, so then there it is, John Wick. But the point is, if you're making, they make all these new characters. They're different movies, like John Wick. But if you want to tie it to the whole lore of an international spy with the style and the
I mean, I think you can put Idris Elba in James Bond's universe. Give him the guy who makes all the fun gadgets, and it'll be just as good. It'll be the next. Okay, for instance,
Like the Bourne Identity and the Bourne Legacy and all that.
All that. And I was thinking more of Rocky. You go from this Italian dope from Philadelphia to who's the Apollo Creed's son? What's his name there?
Uh,
Just
Adonis
as
Creed?
good. Yeah, I'm into that fucking guy's shit just as much as Rocky. You know,
Yeah, there you go.
you continue in
It
the
could be
legacy.
James Bond's son. Can it be James Bond's son?
I guess so.
Billy Bond?
Billy Bond. I would like Idris Elba to play James Bond's son's love interest. James Bond's
Okay.
son gets killed, and then Idris Elba is like, now I have to react.
Now I'm a Bond guy.
He's just a big gay James Bond fighting machine. You know what I'm saying? And then he goes like this. Stir my shit, don't shake it, because that fucking breaks up all the ice and ruins the drink. You know what I'm saying?
It's not as
Just
catchy of a phrase, but I get
Yeah.
where you're at. I
Yeah.
hear you.
don't pierce the ice in my cocktail, you son of a bitch.
You piece of crap.
No one should kill 007. All right, so he winds up in a retirement home, dribbling out the side of his mouth. I don't know how it ends. I'm not a writer, Christine. I'm sure somebody will figure out a nice conclusion.
He becomes Polybond. Or what's that dental stuff? Dental bond or I don't know.
Whatever it's called. Anyway, so Lisa Marie Presley owns a lot of money. Long story short, we're still on the first topic, 36 minutes in.
Yikes.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, Lisa Marie. Okay, good. Next.
Yeah. All right. Next. I don't know. I did see something that her kids are going to inherit. Let me see here. Blah, 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 for children. She inherited 100 million in 93, by the way.
That's like 200 million now.
So she lost 100 million in a short span of time. It wasn't like she squandered that through the 80s.
I mean,
which would have been easier to do with all the coke flowing around the world in the 80s.
Did she get like caught up in like Bernie Madoff stuff?
Maybe, quite possibly. I don't know. I don't think anybody's detailed all of the losses there. Yeah. But the estate, that's the thing. The estate, which I think Priscilla still has control over, is worth
she does.
$400 to $500 million. So
that seems like enough.
Fine. Yeah, those kids are going to be A-okay.
Yeah, 1 million in debt is probably fine.
Yeah. Where do you want to go next?
I forget what the topics are. The next one.
Let's go with the police department scandal.
Yeah, what is this about?
Which
police department are we talking about?
Okay. Small police department in Tennessee.
Okay.
By the way, I ignored this story for like 5 days and then finally was like, all right, let me read it and see what this is. And now I'm like, holy shit. Like,
sounds good to me. Let's go.
This is craziness. So these two cops are married. Okay. This female cop, her name is Megan. By the way, I'm going to say something here. It's going to be mildly offensive to some people.
Just think about it.
Megan.
Think about it before you say it.
Megan spelled Maegan.
Yeah.
Little those Megans. Megan Megha, whatever the fuck else. Okay. Maegan. There's always a little something going on with those Megans. I don't know what's happening.
Is that like from a certain region? Is that a special spelling from like Europe somewhere?
I don't know.
Right.
I'm not entirely sure.
Silent A.
But this came about because people were getting suspended because of a sex scandal. Then the husband, Megan's husband, said, "No, we're in an open marriage," and then nobody believed her. And then today she got fired. And then they started releasing all the details of the sex scandal. She was banging everybody in the police department. Like, everybody in the police department. You want to hear some of these fucking examples?
All right. Hit me.
And listen, I'm not slanting the open marriage people, but perhaps, maybe, keep it out of the workplace to, keep everything on the up and up a little.
Well, to be fair, if you're in where, Tennessee?
Laverne?
Okay. I mean, I have to imagine the police department makes up 50% of the population of Laverne, Tennessee.
By the way, we need to end Shirley, Tennessee, just to kind of put the whole thing together.
Wouldn't that be right next to each other?
Just the best. Just the best.
What are the? Come on, let's get your shit together, Tennessee. That would be
I mean, do we have to do everything? Is what I'm saying, Frank.
honestly,
The whole world. I don't know where they'd be without us.
God. They
Um,
could stay just a little more interesting.
yeah, just a little interesting. Kick it up a little. Anyway, Megan's married to Jedediah.
This sounds like the first couple of chapters of the Bible.
Yeah. Um,
Megan begat Jedediah. Jedediah begat.
Jedediah is standing by his wife, claiming that they were in an open marriage.
Okay.
She was fired today after allegations emerged that she engaged in sex with coworkers, sent them nude pictures, took her top off at a Girls Gone Wild themed hot tub party, and performed oral sex on two fellow officers while on duty.
Ah, you see, that's where you went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be doing that stuff on duty.
This also led to the firing of Sergeant Lewis Powell, Officer Juan Lugo, Sergeant Ty McGowan, and Detective Seneca Shields.
A detective named Shields?
Yeah.
That's like an ice cream man named Cone. A Seinfeld reference. Yeah, Bookman.
Officers Patrick Malagoko and Larry Holiday, who allegedly also had romps with Megan Hall, stayed on the force but were suspended. Megan Hall had
What's the
told her
difference?
coworkers she was in an open marriage, according to investigators. One of her coworkers, however, said that Jedediah, who the Daily Mail reported is the son of a pastor, was not on board.
What? Wait, I thought he was supporting the whole thing.
He is publicly. Listen, if your wife got busted for blowing half the police department, the only way you could save a little face is by going, well, look, we're in an open marriage. I'm banging chicks too.
I'd like to see Jedediah's rap sheet. See how many women at his workplace he's banging.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think they're. I don't know if he's in the same, or maybe he's not a police officer. I might have gotten that confused. I'm sorry. But that's like banging on the job, especially when you're a police officer. Like you kind of got to be on the ready at all times. You know what I'm saying?
Aren't there like cameras everywhere and stuff, and like body cams and?
Yeah, I don't think that technology's made its way down to Tennessee just yet. But multiple people are saying that he wasn't on board with his wife having threesomes and all that. I mean, I honestly, I cannot imagine doing this shit.
No.
Cannot. Can't even imagine who wouldn't want a free blowy, okay? But let's say you're in the old office and Jill from down the hall goes, hey, Frank, I'm about to blow Tom over here. You want to get in on this? I mean, what fucking world do we live in?
About to blow Tom. Go take a rain check.
Who goes,
Take off.
yeah, you know what? I got 15 minutes until my next meeting.
I'm trying to eat my salad here. God. Can't have a lunch break with peace.
That depends. Are we doing it in Tom's office or in my office? Because honestly, I don't like his couch.
I mean, I've heard some things about that couch.
Yeah.
That's no good.
What?
I mean,
what
hey.
fucking plant? By the way, have you ever? I've never even. I mean, remotely. You hear, oh, so and so hooked up at the, after the office party the other day, or after the happy. All right, fine. Hookups happen after. Yeah, that shit goes on, but not blowing you in the middle of a shift.
I mean, I don't. That's how. I wonder how long this has been going on. I mean, how long they've been getting away with it.
You want a real, you want a real shocker?
Go ahead.
She was sworn into the police department in 2021.
Dope.
So she made some quick work around the old hallways.
Getting some of that rookie nookie.
Rookie nookie. Is that a thing, or did you just come up with that?
I just came up with that. It's funny because it rhymes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I wonder if there are other women in the department like this fucking. She's just banging all these guys and like getting away. Someone had to rat her out. Who's gonna? I mean, if everybody's in on it and they're all enjoying it and whatever, who do you think turned them in?
Well, you know what winds up happening is somebody catches feelings, and then they go, "Hold on, I
Boom.
I knew she blew 4 guys before she got to me, but I didn't know she was still
But
still
but
doing
I
it."
thought we had something special. I thought when she hit me, she'd stop
Yeah,
and that'd be all she wrote. But no,
yeah.
apparently she wanted to blow everyone else after me.
And here's the other thing too. Like, I understand. All right, listen. You meet somebody while you're out. You get a little drunk. She goes, "I'm in an open marriage." Probably,
People blow people. That's
probably gonna be like, let's present idea. All right, whatever.
you know.
But when you're at a workplace and your coworker goes, "Oh, I'm in an open marriage," I would still think you'd probably be like, "No, I'm gonna avoid some drama here. I'm gonna avoid potential nightmare situation."
Right.
And
It
not gonna.
seems like the list of cops that didn't partake in this has. I mean, you named like 5 people
Yeah.
that we just know the names of.
Just so you know, the whole one cop left. That's it. There's one cop
That's
now
just one
patrolling the
guy
whole town.
and a little dog, and they chase the keys around.
And it's
That's all
because
that's run in the place.
he had a slightly droopy eye. This pretentious piece of shit couldn't give the guy with a slightly droopy eye a blowjob.
See, that's not fair.
No, it's really not. The ugly guy loses again.
Damn it.
Yeah. Can I be honest with you? I mean, you could see it on the episode here, the card of the episode, the photo cover photo. Looks like a fucking like a sweetheart. Like, looks like she would be baking brownies and driving kids to like, doesn't look like the kind of girl that is like, I know I'm gonna blow everybody in the department today.
Well, what does that girl look like to you?
I don't know, but not this. but
Not this, damn it.
but the Megan thing. As soon as I saw her name was Megan, I was like,
That's
that's
a problem. That's trouble right there.
spelled Maegan. Those are the ones you got to look out for.
Megan.
If mom and dad don't have the heart to throw an H in there, not a good sign.
So you want an A, E, and an H?
Yeah. I want it all.
Just put some Q's and R's in there too while we're at it. Whatever you want. Just throw them all in.
Yeah.
Man. All right. So good luck in Shirley, Tennessee. Or Laverne? Sorry, Laverne, Tennessee.
Laverne, Tennessee. Laverne spelled Vergne.
What do they? Come on, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Tennessee doesn't have enough letters in its name. You got to use more unnecessary letters in everybody else's name too.
I know, fucking 2 N's, 2 S's. Those people are crazy.
There's
over
like
there.
10 E's.
Yeah. And you're naive about the egos on cops. Too many wouldn't have morals. I've heard this about police officers, that they're not really much on the old moral standards.
I'm sure there are good cops out there.
No, there's wonderful cops. I think what it is cops see a lot of terrible shit.
Sure.
And so, like, sometimes it's like, should I bang this chick who I know is married? Well, what do you?
She says it's all right.
She said it's okay. What do you want from me? I mean,
I say it's all right. She says it's all right. Who else we need to ask? I don't understand how many people have to know about this and approve.
And you got to see, like, they released all the photographs of like all the cops that got in trouble, and they're
like,
yes, some like one guy's like on the K9 unit, like he's in the picture with his dog, and it's like, oh man.
I bet that dog's seen some shit.
Yeah. I mean, and this, by the way, scratching the surface, like, according to a couple of people in these articles, they're like, there's a lot more you guys don't know about yet. Like,
so she's fired.
She's very fired. Yeah.
Charges? Like, is there legal things?
I don't know if there's anything legal here, but you definitely can't blow people while you're on the clock as a police officer. I don't think that's okay.
Not as a police officer, no.
No.
I mean, look out wherever she ends up. She starts working at Walmart or something.
Yeah.
You see a lot of happy Walmart workers in that area.
Well, isn't that a fun? Imagine her walking into the fucking job interview. You're going, Oh, okay. How do I
How
how
do
do
I
I
ask this question? Uh, I'm gonna bring Heather from HR in here so I don't get in trouble.
Yeah, could you imagine? What do you
No,
do?
I
Huh?
don't know. I mean, I'm sure that's not on the resume explicitly, but you're gonna have to ask why did you get why did you leave your last job? Oh, I blew everybody there. Oh,
I ran out of people to blow, and then eventually,
I'm trying to hit all of Western Tennessee.
yeah. I mean, listen, we've all been like, sex crazed, right? But
Right.
to be like, I can't wait until we get off the clock. Unbuckle everybody.
Well,
Let's fucking go here. I just can't imagine
wasn't
people.
even off the clock.
That's what I'm saying. Like she's like, I can't wait till we clock out. Let's go right now. Like everybody, pants around the old ankles. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
Hey, listen,
Maybe
some
I'm old
people
and I don't remember what it's like to be in our 20s. I mean,
some people just gotta, gotta get down. Gotta get up to get down.
officials began to look into the swinging personal lives of the amorous officers when Laverne Mayor Jason Cole received the tip that Hall was sleeping with several fellow cops and had a threesome with Maglocchio and his wife, among other claims. When asked about the tip, Maglocchio admitted to having sex with Hall on numerous occasions, according to the investigation report. He told
Classic Maglocchio.
investigators that what?
Classic Maglocchio.
He told investigators that Hall had told him about Powell's big black dick and claimed she had performed a sex act on him while the pair were on the clock, according to the report. Maglocchio said he had seen Hall and Holiday kiss while watching football at a party and said Hall had kissed his own wife, Amy, after learning that they had an open marriage, according to the document. The officer said Hall's husband saw the kiss and told officials the cuckold really wasn't on board with his wife having a threesome with the Maglocchios, but she continued having the relationship with him anyway.
Yeah, that marriage is probably not going to be doing well.
No, to me, this is basically the Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith marriage. It's just less public.
Yeah, this guy doesn't know when to end it.
Yeah, no.
He's still hanging in there,
Yeah.
even though she's been Maglocchioed.
That's the craziest sex scandal I've heard in a while.
What, the Will Smith thing?
No, this one, like you're
Oh,
just
this
blowing
one.
everybody at the job.
I mean, that's the kind of sex scandal you see in like porn.
Right, exactly.
But
Exactly.
you didn't think that stuff happened. I guess there's not much to do in Laverne,
There's
Tennessee.
not much. I heard this
Yep.
great I heard this
bowling alley there sometimes. I don't know.
Can't you
wanna
people
blow
go
me?
bowling?
No, let's just go bowling like we do every Tuesday. What are we doing? Come on, blowing. What's with the blowing all the time?
With the blowing?
All the time with the blowing. Let's just go bowl.
But let me ask you a question.
It's just you flip two letters, blowing and bowling. It's the same thing.
Do you think people like this can enjoy regular sex? Like you think if she has sex with her husband, that she's just sitting there going, God damn, I wish there was just somebody else here. Like I can't like you think I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I mean, people just have urges. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she didn't. I can't imagine she was too enthusiastic about her marriage. You know, like she probably went into it willingly, but not like, well, maybe there was an understanding beforehand, and then he kind of. Who knows? We don't know what happens in the personal lives of these people, but
Yeah.
she was not happy with one guy. It seems.
This was a storyline on Succession. You ever watch Succession?
No.
I'm not gonna spoil it, but this is like part of the storyline where like the wife is like, hey, we have an open marriage, right? And the husband's like, I guess so. Like he's like,
No, that's you need a definitive yes or no. I guess
yeah,
so is not a good answer.
yeah, and and they lead you to believe that like she's had this conversation with him before, but you could tell he like loves her, and she's like, no, this is cool, right? Like, and you're just like, oh god, this is so fucking awkward. It's so uncomfortable and so awkward.
This is cool, right? How do you? I mean, no, I don't understand why someone wouldn't just be like, no, it's not cool. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
How is that not a discussion?
Yeah. Let's just sit down and listen. I gotta tell you something.
Yeah, I'm gonna need
Um,
your approval on something here.
you said porn, and it jogged a memory. I saw a TikTok before of an old roast. I don't know who it was a
Okay.
roast of, but Greg Giraldo was on there, and it was his turn to. And you know how they roast other people, not the
On the panel, yeah, yeah.
guest of honor. And Ralphie May was on there. You know, remember the big fat comic? He was
Hmm.
huge. And Greg Giraldo goes, Ralphie May, you're the only guy I know who comes during porn when the pizza guy shows up.
That's a great one.
Fucking hysterical.
That's a good one.
That's one of the greatest jokes I've ever heard.
That's
All
a
right.
really good one. So simple. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it's good. It's good. Quick and to the point.
Yep.
Kanye West
Ugh.
and his new wife, Bianca Censori.
Sensory?
Censori.
Sure. Sensory. One of those.
The irony of Kanye West, who proclaimed his love for Hitler, married a girl named Censori.
I don't get it.
Like censor. Like he's on
Okay.
censor.
I see. I
Yeah.
got it.
Let me see. They got married in a secret ceremony yesterday, according to reports. The new couple reportedly went on a romantic getaway at the five-star luxury resort in Utah. At a five-star luxury resort in Utah last weekend. I mean, how many of those are there? That's got to be what, one? Although wait, no, Utah has what do you call it? Park what do they call it? New Park City?
Salt Lake City?
Park City, Utah is I
Okay.
think a super nice, expensive place.
Take your word for that.
Yeah.
So she's got to be either. I mean, how does she watch TV?
Yeah, I don't.
Does she know what's going on?
Well, I think she worked for him for a little while.
I mean, that's Company Inc. Is that not? I mean, I guess I can't really hold this guy up to moral standards, but
She's an architectural designer at West brand Yeezy. According to her LinkedIn profile, she's been in the role for just over 2 years since November 2020.
architectural. You know, I always wanted to pretend I was an architect. What is she designing? They're not building any buildings, are they?
I don't know, but you remember when we did that whole report on him wanting to
Yeah.
build a whole society? Maybe that's her. Maybe
But
she's.
is that actually happening? Because there's no way. Who's moving there? It's going to be
Kanye,
Nazis. It's going to be a big town full of Nazis.
Yeah, David. What's his name? David West or whatever the fuck the guy, the old KKK guy. He'll be there.
Oh yeah. I don't remember.
He'll be like, "This is all right." You wouldn't even know a black guy came up with this idea. I'm fucking walking around all happy and shit.
God. So at least we'll know where they all are. Put them
Yeah.
in one spot. All the Nazis.
By the way, not
Keep an
opposed to
eye on
this
them.
idea because it's going to be a lot easier. You just go, "Oh, there was a military training exercise today." You know, you don't secure those bombs, and they just come right off wherever. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, 5,000 Nazis are dead, but who's gonna really miss them at the end of the day?
All I'm saying is, this lady knows she's married to a Nazi, right?
I mean, not only married to Frank, but working alongside with. It's not like you could miss the articles when you're showing up at the old office with Yeezy himself.
I mean, this guy needs to just go away, like fade away into the background. Stop making headlines. Nobody, you're done. He's got to be done. I can't imagine him coming out with another album. Right, his career's got to be pretty much over. He puts out an album. Who's gonna buy it?
All right, but here's what I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to catch a lot of shit for this, but this is the
Think
truth.
about it. Think about it before you say it.
This has to be said.
You sure?
I think so.
All right.
I'm not saying I'm not going to wind up apologizing for it on the next episode, but this is the
This
truth.
is your chance to not say it. We're giving you a free out here.
I know, but it's like keeping a burp in. You got to let it go.
Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry, but this is true. This is how broken women are. That
See, apologize right now.
even the Nazi guy, there's a woman out there that's gonna go.
Not women. You can't say that's how broken women are.
You know, I think he's
This woman
misunderstood.
has this woman
Mm,
might have an issue, but you
I
can't say women are broken.
I think women have an inherent problem.
Uh-uh.
They feel like they
Nope.
can fix men,
Stop it.
and to make matters worse,
You're just digging yourself
men.
deeper, buddy.
Listen,
Stop
no,
it.
let me finish.
I'm throwing you a lifeline here. Say sorry.
finish.
Back out.
Men
boy.
are a big ball of problems and give women plenty of yarn to work with.
It works the other way. There are men who think they could fix women if women have problems.
I think men are too lazy for that. There's some, but overall,
you can't say women. What did you say? Women
like to fix. Women think that they can fix men.
I think you said women are broken, which is not.
Well, women are broke. Yeah, because because a woman looks at a man and goes, "There's a lot of issues here. There's a lot of problems, but I think I can fix it." And here's the thing.
So
it's
then
true.
the guy's broken.
The guy is. The guy. I mean, we're
Women
not.
aren't
Like I said, we're not giving them much to work with
I'm gonna give you. Wait.
from the
Before you
beginning.
go any further, I give you a chance here to rewind.
Yeah.
And restate what you wanted to say. You can't, like, you said women. That's literally 3.5 billion people on the planet. They're all broken.
Yeah.
You're sticking with that.
Well, not the lesbian ones. Those are the smartest ones we got. Where they look at a man and go, "No, not for me. I'm gonna make the right decision here, and I'm gonna go with a woman."
That's fine, but
these are the thoughts of Anthony. I'm sorry.
This is a rough, man. You're gonna catch some shit.
Now Paige is laying down some truth as well. Men love crazy women. This is very true.
Not all men. Not all men. There are men who love crazy women. There are men who love perfectly sane women. There are men who love crazy women. You know, that whole freak in the bed, lady in the street kind of thing. How crazy are we talking?
That's definitely not how it goes, but I know what you're trying to say.
You know what I'm saying?
Freak in the bed, lady in the street.
I don't know.
Freak in the sheets. Lady
Whatever.
in the yeah. Well, you were
get
close.
The point.
Make like a tree and get out of here.
Right. That's my point.
No, but here's the thing. You talk about this
hunt and women nest.
You talk about this all the time. You're like, this guy's done, right? Like nobody's gonna ever buy an album. Nobody's gonna ever. A woman looked at him and went,
"Yeah,
I'm gonna marry
one woman."
You.
Yeah, it's not like he asked out the entire population. You see, that's what we got to move away from. You're generalizing. Women are broken is a big statement. Women, all women.
Beat my drum, Frank. I love when you try and fix Ant.
What's weird is that she emphasized you. Like, I love when you try to fix Ant. Like,
yeah.
like I'm broken and I'm trying to help him.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Okay, and here's the first. Let me break it down. Let me give you some more truth. Women succeed sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no guy that's like, he is perfect, and then they like just get married. Like, women have to fix men. It's part of the thing. Like you ever see a car that doesn't get buffed and get that last bit of shine on it? You know what I'm saying? Before it gets to the dealership,
it's in the driveway.
You ever feel a car before they put that last layer of gloss on top of it? It's terrible.
No,
it's awful. You know,
that matte finish.
Yeah, you put your hand on it. If you rubbed your hand on a car that was just painted before they put that gloss on, you'd be like, "What the fuck is this shit?" That's all men. So there's a bit of work that women are expected to do with the man once they get them.
See, you're going. That's very
generic.
Like generic.
Truth usually is.
I don't think it's a I don't think it's a broken thing as much as there's a man, there's a woman, they get married, and they evolve together. It's not like the woman is like, all right, there are 7 things I need to change about you, and then we'll work on it.
That's the
They
truth.
compromise. It's all
That first thing
compromise.
you said
Everybody.
is not true.
Okay.
No,
You're right.
there's not things that they come up with together. There's the man, and then there's the woman trying to mold him into a human being that can procreate. That's all it is. Here's what happens. Man is born, man is in rough shape. Man's mom does the best she can, and at some point gets tired and goes, this is now your problem. And then that woman is expected to finish doing what the mom started to do.
Okay, but that doesn't mean she's broken.
Yeah, because if she's smart, she would just go, fuck it, I'm just going to date another woman. I can't be bothered with this shit.
Hey, there are some people like men. What do you know?
That's the problem. That's the
I
problem.
hear you. I hear you.
Like I said, that is the problem. Like at
All
men,
right.
like we're not sitting here all innocent. We're giving them plenty of road to work with. You know what I'm saying?
Who was that the comedian? I think it was actually Louis C.K. or someone said something like the number one problem for women is men. Like, I don't know how you date us. Like, you have to go out by yourself with the guy.
Yeah.
And we're your number one, and we're the number one cause of problems for women.
The number one killer of women is men.
Right.
And that's true. There's an example right there. Nobody kills women more than men, and still a woman goes, I'm gonna go out with this guy.
Take my chances with this guy. He seems like he's not gonna kill me.
Like, what are you doing? Get out of there.
This Kanye, what's her name?
Bianca Sensory.
Bianca Sensory. Her first name actually means white.
Oh shit.
That's weird.
That is weird. Does
Am I wrong
sensory
there?
mean
Doesn't that mean-
power in some language? Because then it would all make a lot of sense.
I'm looking it up. How do you spell it, with a C or an S?
Censori.
All right. I don't know.
This is
if
my
there's a-
wife, Bianca Sensory, or in your native language, white power.
Right? Okay. What is, I'm going to say meaning.
But I mean, you
Sensore.
hear about this shit all the time, like people who fall in love with people who are in prison. Like, you know,
I mean, sensore is Italian for censor. So white censor. And a censor is like a safeguard, I guess. That's not great.
Yeah.
Marry someone named. That's weird.
all right, Pete, my drum brings up a great point. Even Hitler had a girlfriend. That's true. I mean, that's true. You know, suddenly now you go, all right, you know.
That's true. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Hey.
Let me tell you how broken women are, Frank. Not only do they put themselves in these horrible situations, but they look at us and they go, so proud of him. Like my wife said that to me the other day. She goes, you know, I'm really proud of you. And I went, get away from me.
Your wife's definitely broken, but you can't say all women are broken.
Well, your wife is definitely broken. Your wife is broken.
Hey, my wife is great, and she supports her awesome husband.
Your wife loves you so much it absolutely disgusts it disgusts me almost as much as my wife loving me. I can't fucking stand it. I cannot take it.
Well, I don't think that means they're broken. You can't say all women are broken. That's you're gonna catch some shit. Just a heads up.
When I first met your wife, she goes, I have to tell you something. I go, what? She goes, I really, really love Frank. And I go, why? She goes, he's wonderful, isn't he? I go, I'm gonna let you figure it out. I go, like, I'm gonna let you, because I've been on the job for like 15 years at this point. I know everything.
I gotta be doing something right.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know. Well, I think you have a huge hog, is what I've always, well, you know, that's.
I think it's my love of Star Wars. She can't get enough of. And Seinfeld. She looks at that and goes, "Holy crap! Sign me up."
I saw this TikTok the other day where this girl goes, "Ladies, can I give you some advice? Marry the nerd because he's I don't have to worry about my husband going out fucking somebody else. He's in the basement with his Star Wars toys playing a video game somewhere. I'm like, that's fucking true.
Yeah,
That is really true.
I'm looking at a Star Wars rug right now.
Yeah,
love
your
it.
wife, her love for you is just awful. Terrible.
You're an ass.
Terrible.
All right, what's next? Let's get these Nazis off our screen.
Yeah. Oh, we gotta wrap this bad boy up here, huh?
Okie doke.
Passion of the Christ Part 2.
This time it's no. This
So
time
it's
it's personal. What's the next? What is this going to be about?
Can I just say this first? I saw this on Twitter, and the first comment underneath was funny. I thought they nailed it in the first one.
Oh, that's
I'm
not
like,
cool.
that's a great joke.
That's not cool.
I mean, that's a great joke.
That's messed up.
Nailed it in the first one.
I mean,
See, you say that, but I think if Jesus Christ ever did come back and we told him that, he'd be like, "That's not bad. That's pretty good. I can appreciate that."
maybe I don't know.
I think definitely.
I don't know though. What is this going to be about?
All right, I actually heard Mel Gibson talking about this a little while ago. This came from Screen Geek. They're saying the sequel to the film titled The Passion of the Christ Resurrection is currently in the works. And they say that they can expect the project to begin shooting very soon. Here's what it stated. It's been a long time coming, but I'm hearing Mel Gibson will finally be shooting The Passion of the Christ Resurrection in a few months. A late spring production is currently being eyed, with Jim Caviezel set to return in the role of Jesus.
I mean,
I heard
Gibson.
I heard him talk about this on who's the religious guy? Stephen Colbert. He's a bit of a religious guy, Stephen Colbert.
Sure.
And he said, because he asked him about it, he goes, "I hear you're like been talking about doing another Passion of the Christ. Doesn't make any sense." And he goes, "We basically saw it all." And Mel Gibson was like, "Yeah, but what did you not see?" And he was like,
"Did you say Nazi?"
That's funny. I didn't know. See, good for you.
Whatever.
He goes, "I don't know, like the 3 days in between." He goes, "That's exactly it." So I guess for people who don't, for my Jewish brethren out there, Jesus dies, goes into hell, battles the demons, takes a Snickers break at one point, I believe, right? Because there's a day missing in there. And then on Sunday, no, he was hung on Thursday or Friday.
Friday was the Friday.
Was it Good Friday?
Was the Last Supper. Friday he was crucified.
Saturday he goes into hell, fights the demons. Sunday, resurrection, right. Easter bunny and candy. And so I think he's going to dream up what happens after he dies and goes through to come back, which would be something else. Because really, that's honestly much like any Wes Anderson movie. Jesus doesn't have a great ending. You know, he kind of just comes back, sees some people on a road, and that's it. Story's over. Like there's not much after that.
He opens the gates of heaven. He makes he died so that everybody can have eternal life. That's the whole thing.
Turtle life, like Leonardo and Michelangelo.
I hate you.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I will say this: it's kind of intriguing to think about what that all looks like, because we don't get shit in the Bible. Right? They just kind of say it. It's a line. So to build a whole movie off of one line in a book, it's kind of an interesting premise, I guess.
I guess we'll see.
I have a movie idea. Can I share it with you? And this is totally legit.
Hit me.
I've had, like, you ever get an idea, but you literally cannot flush it out whatsoever?
Sure.
Okay. You have to go under the pretense here. You got to follow me along with this pretense.
I'm with you.
All right. The pretense is the whole story of Jesus is bullshit. Okay. Wouldn't you love to be like, again, if let's just say we live in a world where this is made up. Wouldn't you want to be in the room when somebody comes up with this crazy fucking story and then has to live with the consequence of that story. Like, let's say this was a scandal. We know Jesus was a real person, right? So somebody in the maybe it's the apostles. Who knows? Maybe it's 100 years after the fact. You know what I'm saying? When they're like, "Remember that guy was crazy, said all this shit." You know, like what if we came up with this story and got everybody to buy into it, and created this whole fucking thing? Like, I would just love to know what that feels like, looks like, how they felt about it years after the fact. And like even going on into, let's say there's an afterlife of some sort, like you go through the crusades and all those people that were killed in the name of God. You think they were sitting there going, oh fuck, I didn't realize that I was just goofing around, and now is the fucking dark ages. Isn't that kind of an interesting premise for a movie?
Yeah, it would be an interesting thing. You come up with like even if it's modern day, and you say, "Oh, I'm going to come up with something," and it's going to become this thing, and it gets out of control, kind of thing.
Right. Because what I find interesting is, in everything, in the whole religious thing, one person had to say something to another person, and that second person had to buy into it. You know what I'm saying? And I
Well,
would love to know what the fuck that was and how
well, with the
that came to
Bible,
be.
a lot of people wrote the Bible, right? It's written not just by one person.
There's like 14 gospels. Yeah. We
There's
picked
four
the
gospels,
four best that we liked.
and I'm not just talking about the New Testament. There's the Old Testament, and written a couple thousand years ago. It's I don't know. I mean, you might have something there. I would steer clear of a specific religion.
I mean, I don't think it has to be. I don't think, like, I'm a Christian. I don't take offense to that. Like, I think we often wonder, what if this is all bullshit? I mean, honestly, it's a requirement for Catholicism. That is a requirement that you have to know, hey, this could be bullshit and it doesn't matter because I have faith in it. Like, that's basically what the whole damn thing is built on anyway. So
Mm.
there's an element of, even if this is bullshit, I'm going to believe it, right? Um
Well,
I'm
yeah.
okay, even here's the thing. Even if it is totally legit and real, you still have those early moments of, how the hell did this thing really get built? You know what I mean? Like, you mean to tell me that 6 towns over from Nazareth, you go and walk into town and go, what's your name? Jim. I'm gonna tell you the story about Jesus Christ, okay? And here's what happened. I would love to just see Jim's reaction and be like, the fuck are you drinking? Like, what are you talking about?
I'm sure there was a lot of that. There was, a lot of people who were like, "No, I don't think so." But there were witnesses to it. There were people that are like, "Yeah, this guy is the real deal." And there was, there were people at a wedding feast who saw him multiply the fishes and the loaves. The whole thing, he performed miracles. So that's the thing. He did it. There were people who witnessed it, and then there were people who didn't witness it. That's where faith comes in. You
But
didn't
I
witness
mean,
it, but you have to, believe it had happened.
so okay, what's interesting, for lack of a better example, Hitler, right? We learn, oh, Hitler did this bad thing. Like, you learn that, like, that's the first thing you learn. Like, Hitler was bad. Oh, okay. And then it's like, Hitler set up concentration camps, and you're like, oh fuck. And then it's like, Hitler did, like, the older you get, the more you understand. And then, like, you really start reading books about this guy, and you'll look and see some of the moves he made early on, like getting rid of the media, eliminating comedian. Like, you see some of these little things that were like not that big of a deal at the time, and how much of an impact. Like, when you're building something that takes off, it is so interesting to see what those early days are like, and we have no idea what that is for Catholicism. None.
Well, it's 2,000 years old, and it's, the records of, kept back then weren't the best.
Yeah.
You know, It's the other side of the world, and not a lot of people can read or write, and the whole thing.
Well,
It's in
again, it
different
doesn't have to be
languages.
factually true. I would just like to see it. You
I
can
hear
make
you.
7 different stories on this. I just kind of want to see it. I want to see what that was like.
Oh, you'd have to write it.
Yeah, I gotta.
There's no
Well,
way
I'm
to
gonna get a
see it.
higher
There's no way
writer.
to see it until someone writes it and acts it out. But
I
even
think that's
then,
an
it's someone's version of it.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting story because even like I mean, even when you look at Hitler, right?
Hmm.
I mean, there had to be countless times. I mean, I know people were afraid, but there had to be countless times, backdoor meetings, conversations where they're like, "This is fucking crazy, right?" I mean, are we going to sneak out of here? And you know what I'm saying? Like, there had to be all this doubt all the time, and all these,
I'm sure there was. I'm sure there were people who were like, "This isn't really happening," or "This is going to stop," or "This isn't getting that serious." That's why.
that would have
That's
been me.
why.
I'd
That's
be
why
like,
when
"There's
you see
no way he's gonna fucking do. There's just
like
no
get away with
way."
this or whatever.
Yeah,
That's why it's scary when you see shit, when you see the early rumblings of that kind of shit
yeah.
happening in modern day times. You're like, what? No, 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 no. We've seen this story before. We know how this plays out. We're gonna squash this right away. That's what happens, when you learn about history. That's why you can see the signs.
Mm-hmm. Court McQuire, great name, says actually the first Christians, Catholics are great record keepers. See, I've never really read. I feel like we're Catholic, dude. I went to Catholic school, grammar school, high school, and college, and I still have no idea what happened in those fucking early days. No,
Well,
no idea.
I mean, I'm sure they were great record keepers for their time, but I'm talking about like compared to today, everything is kept, everything's written down, everything's recorded. Back then, yeah, but they may have kept good records, but 2,000 years went by, crusades. I'm sure a lot of stuff was lost. A lot of stuff was um, banned and confiscated. It's not like that. That's the thing. It's hard to know exactly what happened. The best that we have is the Bible to go on and scrolls and all these things and whatever records we got.
I'm fucking fascinated by it. I'm
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by all of it, like how it all got set up, and like who's the first guy to be like, "This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna have fucking priests, right?"
Well,
And
Jesus was set up the church, and I forget the guy, one of his apostles,
Ryan,
can't remember his name,
Philip,
started the church.
Dave,
Sure. Probably
wasn't
wasn't
it?
that.
And he built his church.
Paul, maybe? I'm
Peter,
not
I
sure.
think it was
Say
Peter.
Was it Peter?
On this rock, I
Built his
build my
church.
church.
That's the one. And then it grew from there, and people, um, you know, as it developed over the years, but he started it, and I'm sure there was a certain way of doing it when it first, like day one. I'm sure there was some rules and things. I'm sure it grew over the years. I'm sure it's not the same as it was 2,000 years ago.
Beat my drum. And St. John's University is 2 minutes from where I grew up. That is where I learned that. But I was in religion class in college, and the teacher goes, "There were 14 gospels." I went, "What? Say that again?" He's like, "Yeah, they're mostly contradictory." I'm like, "Holy shit! I thought this class was gonna suck." I was like, "We're gonna learn," because you go into college going, "I can't believe I'm taking a religion." I just did fucking 14 years of religion classes. I haven't learned a new thing since the second grade. It's all been the same fucking stories over and over again. And this guy goes, "Oh, there's like 14 other gospels." I was like, "Holy shit, this is gonna be great." And it was. It was pretty interesting.
Cool.
Yes, Jesus did exist, but I'm telling you, it's the post Jesus. Like, where do you go from here? Now what?
Yeah, well, he said, start a church, teach about what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
and just try to be good people. That was his basic lesson: is treat others the way you want to be treated, and I am the Lord your God. Those were his two big
well, see, that's the thing.
commandments.
I say something like, let's say it's bullshit, and people, but like, you wonder, like, who was the Let's say it's bullshit. Let's say Jesus existed, but he just died, and it wasn't. He was trying to be nice to everybody, and he just dies, never rises. That's all bullshit. There had to be somebody that went, you know what, though? Nobody's going to believe me if I say just be nice to one another. I have to make up this crazy story to get the point across
I
that
don't know if that's
we
true.
need to be nice to one another.
Is that I don't? I mean, that person could have just wrote down, listen, these are my beliefs. You should be nice. You should do this. You should treat your fellow person the way you want to be treated. You didn't have to make someone up and make up miracles and things.
What if he was trying it for years and it never worked? And then somebody said, "Remember that Jesus guy? Didn't he say all this nice stuff?" And what if we just,
Well, he could have heard about, he could, oh, remember that Jesus? Let's write about him. Maybe they wrote everything down that he did.
it's like those stories where the salesman keeps failing and then he finally finds the product that works and makes $1 million. Like what if one day, and it's always, his wife always says something that he's like, oh,
Yeah,
that's it.
I don't think they were, it wasn't like a business. Well, back then, when they wrote this stuff all down. Back then, it wasn't a meant to be a business. When it first started, when they were just keeping track of it, they were just writing it down.
Yeah.
They wrote it down and then sold it. I think they wrote it down just to keep it like as a record.
I don't know, but
In the very early days.
I'm pretty sure we shouldn't be letting Mel Gibson make a sequel to Passion of the Christ. I don't know.
I don't know how he's still.
I don't know how he came
relevant.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something. Vince Vaughn helped bring him back, and that's a little heartbreaking because I do love Vince Vaughn.
I don't get it, but hey, it's weird. It's weird to me that he's. It's one of those things where you do something like what he did. You gotta. I know there's you have to forgive. I get it, but when you have to be forgiven by the people that you hurt. That's a big deal to me. Like if you say an entire society of people is messed up or whatever you're saying, it's a tall order, but they got to forgive you. If the Jewish community came out and said, yeah, we're fine with Mel Gibson, as a society, and I'd be like, I guess we have to forgive him now. It's because, when you say something on that big a scale, you got to be forgiven on that bigger scale too, I think.
I've said this before, but pack of N-word, one of the worst things. I mean,
Terrible.
To think that you could position the N-word to be worse. I mean,
yeah, he took the N-word and multiplied it
by a trillion,
by a lot, and it was how he came back from that. I mean, granted, his career isn't what it was, but I'm sure he's fine financially.
Yeah.
And he has fans and people who still love him, even though he said that awful stuff.
So movie news here, Frank, to wrap it up. So the guy from The Bear won the Golden Globe. Somebody said that before. I forget who. I was happy.
Yes.
Yeah, I was happy to see that. Because here's the thing. That guy is ugly as sin. I mean, ugly as shit. So to see him be successful, gives me
hope. Yeah.
Yeah.
What he'd be a good Willy Wonka. I saw that. He'd be a good young Willy Wonka.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's really interesting.
But I think they're doing a Willy Wonka movie with
the young
Timothy
kid.
Chalamet.
That's it.
He's gonna be Willy Wonka. All right.
Remember Gina Carano? She was on The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And then she said I forget even what she said. Something about COVID or something, some crazy shit. Disney was like, "Can you please stop saying this?" And she was like, "Fuck you, I'm saying it." Right. Then she signed a deal with I think she signed a deal with who's that? The Weasley guy. I'm Ben Shapiro. Man, let me hang on something. Because his company is so huge now they got to start making movies because they have to think that they're like protecting their conservative legacy. Her latest movie, Terror on the Prairie. I'll take a guess how much it made in the box office.
How much is a ticket these days?
Like
I'm going to say 3 tickets worth.
Made $13,000.
That is rough.
That's bad.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah, nobody.
I feel like that's like the cast and crew went to see it.
Yeah, basically.
That's the 1,300. 1,300 or 13,000?
13,000.
Yeah, that's cast and crew.
I mean, that's painstaking. I mean, I know, listen, I think I said this at the time. Like, this is crazy times. Just shut the fuck up. This will all blow over. She could have still been in the old Disney family. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something, Frank. We get on that Disney teat, we are never letting go.
She bit that hand, boy. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Dumbest thing you could possibly do. Well, I
Not good.
have my self-worth and esteem.
Yeah,
Idiot.
good for you.
Idiot. Get that fucking
Paul
mouse
with the
money.
super chat. Let's see. Up until Jesus, it was an eye for an eye. Jesus' teachings were radical for turn the other cheek. The kingdom of God is within us, etc.
Yeah, that's a good point, Paul.
Jesus was great.
That's a really good point. But again, I can't help a part of me thinks like you people are wonderful. A person is wonderful. People in a group are dangerous and awful and panicky
Sure.
pieces of shit. And I think that it takes an intelligent person to look back at society, especially then, 2,000 years ago, whatever the fuck, and go, no, we need something to keep us all in order. We need something to keep it all together. I can't help but think somebody didn't have that idea.
Yeah, but it was such a thing that, like, you think it would go along with what was, like, it was so radical. It was against what everybody was doing.
Anthony's views on women will get him canceled. I would walk that back, Paul. I would walk that back if fucking Disney would pay in the bills. Go ahead, Frank. You were saying.
I would think that if someone was going to write something that everybody were to follow, they would probably get the people in charge on board. Like whoever was running the show back then would be, oh, this guy is the teacher. He's telling us what to do, and everything's great, and he said all these great things. Not someone, from who was very poor and came, is going against everything that's been established. Do you know what I mean?
I get that, but I think that that's kind of, I mean, if you're going to market something, that's kind of brilliant. Like if you have a king that's treating everybody shitty and you go, this poor guy over here says, love everybody like you want to be loved. People would kind of be like, hold on a second.
Yeah, but you'd think there would be like, well, the king has been saying, let's love everybody. Or someone high up has been saying this or
But
that.
they don't. Oh,
Why are you going to listen to someone who has no?
Because that wasn't the way it was. You were just ruled by a king. You were shitty, and you had to speak to the masses without. It's the quickest way to get to the masses, being like, who's in charge now sucks.
That's what I'm saying. So if someone was going to make up a story, you'd think they'd go, well, this famous person has been saying, if you wanted people to listen to a person, you'd want them to listen to a person who had everybody's ear.
If they had that access. If the people who started this did not have that access.
What access? You just write it down. You say, oh, there's a guy with the king who's like, is really smart and he's saying all this stuff,
But if the king wasn't really saying that, how do you got to get the king to say that?
Or you don't. You just write it down and say, oh, he was right. He was great. Well, if it's 100 years later, well, if you're going with your thing, 100 years later, someone goes, oh, this king probably could have said this, and he's a king, so everyone's going to listen. So let me put it down.
Then you got to convince the current king, whoever it is.
Well, whatever. Yeah, look what I found. They said this.
Found a note from King Philip. Everybody, take a look. Gather around.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. But here's the other thing too about the whole Jesus thing. It's a fucking wonderful story, man.
I love it.
Every bit of it is wonderful, and so many teaching. It's almost like too perfect. Where you go, somebody had to write this because I don't know if anybody actually lived it. But that's the hook, right? And that the rub.
One person lived it, at least, and that's what makes it so special. If it was just an average story, we'd be like, oh, that's a cool story. But this is the story, it's not like it's just any old story.
Paige, I need to be high to follow you guys right now. Yeah, we need to save this for the next Drunken High show.
314's 2 months away. We got to get ready.
The fuck is 314?
Not 314. What is it?
420 is straight edge.
314 is Pi Day.
We're gonna have pie that day, motherfucker.
Oh, Pi Day on 314, baby.
Yeah.
All right, 420. That's not that. That's 3 months away.
314.
Shut up.
You're great.
Thank you. And yes, hey, would you blow me? This is a Jaws. It's actually a what's it called? A lobby card. Back in
Tell people.
1975.
Yeah.
My uncle got this for me for my 40th birthday, framed and everything. Back in 1975, when the movie came out, they put these in the lobby. This is an original one from 1975 that was hung in the theaters. And he had to go to a collector to get it, someone who has a bunch of these, and he was able to buy one for me.
Isn't that a cool fucking gift?
And Jaws happens to be one of, if not probably my favorite horror movie, favorite drama. Like I have favorite comedies and favorite this and that. This is up there. This is one of my top movies.
Favorite Richard Dreyfuss movie?
Oh yeah, it's got to be Jaws. Yeah.
No, I'm asking you what's the favorite? What's the
Gotta
best
be
Richard
Jaws.
Dreyfuss movie?
It's got to be Jaws.
Wrong.
Sorry, we were looking for Mr. Holland's Opus.
Mr. Holland's Opus is a great movie too, but
But you were close.
Jaws. It's Jaws.
When your uncle was telling me about the gift at the party, and I was just like, God, I wish you were my uncle.
Oh, he always gives cool stuff.
Yeah.
He's, and the cards. He always, whenever he sends it, gives us a card for like birthdays or whatever. It's always Star Wars themed. He writes some special stuff in it.
Something cool in there. Not to say that my uncle's not good. I just wish I had my uncle in addition to your uncle. I just need more better uncles.
Uncle Frank. Good stuff.
Yeah.
What About Bob? Great movie. But Jaws, come on.
I would
mean,
put What About Bob
comedies.
over Jaws. I'm sorry.
We're talking if we're talking comedy, hey, here's some deep cuts. Let It Ride. Underrated Richard Dreyfuss movie.
Yeah?
You ever hear of it?
No, I don't think so. I have to watch it.
It takes place at a racetrack. It's him and Buster Poindexter at a racetrack the whole time, and it's hysterical. It's great.
It's like Days of Thunder, just with Richard Dreyfuss. Is that what you're
Kind
telling
of,
me?
except they don't ride the horses. They bet. It's about gambling. It's about him gambling on the horses.
Oh, I like gambling. I like
Yeah.
that.
Let It Ride. Great movie. It's
All right.
based on a book, but it's from the 80s. Terry Garr is in it. Jennifer Tilly is in it. It's a great movie.
Terry Garr, hot back in the day, no?
Sure.
Aces. I love that card though. To get something special like that, like a lobby card, like that's just a cool fucking gift to have.
And I'm looking at my new basement. I gotta find the perfect spot. I'm thinking right over. I have like this mini, like 3-foot tall fridge. I put it right over the fridge, so everybody who goes to the fridge has to see it.
Nice.
I think that's the good spot.
You should put a mechanical shark inside the fridge and really just fuck with people. Just really
It's not
go all
Snowflake.
out.
That'd be cool.
That would be nice. It's not Snowflake, is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Tell Narf we'd love a fucking Ace Ventura lobby card. That'd be great.
Gotta love that.
That'd be
Cool.
awesome.
Narf is what we call my uncle. Frank backwards. Narf.
Sorry if I wasn't clear on that.
Right.
Did we cover everything? Oh, Tom Hanks has a new cocktail. It's like
Heard
tearing
about
up the
this.
internet. Did you hear about
Diet
this?
Coke and something. What was
And
it?
champagne.
And champagne.
Yeah.
Not a fan of Diet Coke, but who the hell knows if it's good with champagne? Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to try it at some point. That
Does
and
it
the
work with
spray,
regular?
the
Yeah,
spray
the spray ranch.
ranch dressing. We'll work on those
Ooh.
two things for product testing.
That'll be good. No J Sabs tonight. We'll see her next time, hopefully.
Actually, she was in the green room the whole time. I just never put her on.
Oh, that's all right. That happens.
Didn't feel the need to go to her today. We were too strong without her. We didn't need her. That's what it is.
She's a good failsafe when we're dying.
If
bring
we
her.
run out of shit, we'll go. Thanks to Jumpstart. Thanks to Frankie C. Thanks to you guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Show me potato salad.
Maybe we should go now.
Go ahead.